Hello, my darlings. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Ash, and this is the space where we get to journey this messy thing called life together. Today, we're diving into a topic that feels so relevant for the chaotic, nonstop world that we live in: preserving our inner peace. You know, that sweet spot where your mind isn't racing, your body doesn't feel so exhausted like it's on its last leg, and your soul, well, it's not screaming for help. Does that sound like a dream? Grab a cozy seat, get something warm to drink, and let's talk about making that dream a reality. Inner peace is not some mystical unicorn. It's something that we can receive with a little bit of intention and a lot of self-awareness. And if you're thinking, but I'm just way too busy, trust me, I have been there, juggling a million and one things, going from one activity to the next, committing myself to so many events and opportunities, and wondering why my life feels like an out of sync orchestra. You are not alone in the hustle, and you are certainly not alone in working through it either. And let's be real, balance is not something we wake up with every day. Life often throws curveballs, and suddenly you're 3 cups of caffeine in, arguing with a coworker about a detail that in the grand scheme of things doesn't actually matter, which, by the way, was totally me last week. How do we know, how can we tell when life just feels off, when our entire life feels off because it's chaotic, it's exhausting, and we don't necessarily feel like we actually have control over anything that's going on? Being off balance in your mind could look like having thought spirals that are moving faster than a hamster on its hamster wheel after he's had 6 cups of espresso. And you're struggling to consider one thought before another thought demands your attention. For me, it's always the mental chatter that refuses to let me enjoy the present moment. Another real giveaway is when I check my to-do list for the 3rd time in an hour. That's when I know my mind has taken the driver's seat and I need to step back and reset. Now, when my body is off balance, I often feel really sluggish, I feel super achy, and my favorite jeans suddenly are not my favorite anymore. Have you ever noticed when your body is whispering or maybe it's shouting at you for attention? This could be a stiff neck, it could be tension in your shoulders, it could be this unusual tingling sensation that you don't normally experience. These are all physical cues that the body is off balance and needs a reset. Soul imbalance, this one is a little bit tricky, but it's very important. Do you ever feel disconnected? Like your favorite activities or hobbies don't actually bring as much joy as they used to, or you're just going through the motions? Does the idea of seeing one of your favorite people in the whole world not spark you with joy? That's your soul waving a little white flag. Personally, I notice it when my morning walk doesn't leave me feeling refreshed and rejuvenated like normal. That's when I know it's time to tune back in. All right. Now that we have recognized and identified the chaos, what do we do? For a mind rebalance, the best trick I have learned is to do a complete and total brain dump. This can be done on a daily basis, a weekly basis, or just however often you need it. But set aside 10 minutes to write down everything that's swirling around in your head. The to-dos, all the worries, any random ideas. It's kind of like decluttering your mental junk drawer. Bonus points if at the end you add a little list of gratitudes. I've also noticed that meditation has made a huge impact on my day-to-day life. Using meditation apps like Calm or Headspace are a good option, but I personally use the YouTube channel Great Meditations or the 5-minute morning meditations as part of my regular routine. Something else I like to do is to leave my phone inside, step outside, and just check out the stars or maybe the clouds as they're passing by. And I'll do this quietly and just try to be completely present and consumed in the moment and the sensations that I'm feeling. Shifting to the body, movement is magic. Just a 10-minute stretch session or an impromptu dance party works wonders. I've never had a mini dance session in the kitchen with my partner that didn't end in smiles and laughter. Also, can we pause and talk about hydration? Water fixes more than we give it credit for. I try to aim for at least half a gallon of water a day, especially living here in Colorado where it's super, super dry. And we cannot underestimate the power of good sleep, whether that's taking a nap or revamping our entire bedtime routine. When my body feels off, I do a quick internal check and I see if I've moved enough. And if I haven't, then I will just take a quick walk, or I'll do a little stretch, or I'll focus on taking some deep breaths. For a soul level sense of rebalance, sometimes it's about reconnecting with things that light you up or things that bring you joy. It could be working on that puzzle or going for a hike. It could be calling up a friend that you admire. For me, it's always about being outside in creation. On super tough days, you'll often find me walking the trails behind my house. No phone, no distractions, just me out there most of the time talking to myself about what's going on and just being in the elements. Doing these things remind us why we're here. It goes beyond all the to-do lists, all the obligations, and the critical self-demands. And don't underestimate the power of small joys. Light a candle, put on some soft music, run a bath, write out a little note to someone you care about. In life, I have realized the little things really are the big things. Now, here's a little bit of the secret sauce though. You need consistency. Balance is not a one-time fix. It's something that you have to keep showing up to, keep making space for, keep setting a time aside for. It's an entire lifestyle. My morning routine consists of a 20-minute walk around my neighborhood, 10 minutes of yoga from a YouTube channel, and then a 5-minute morning meditation. This for me isn't just exercise. It's not about doing all of the right things. For me, it's just a rebalance. It's a reset, a little ritual, if you will, to help me start out on a good foot during the day. I encourage you to take the time to find your thing and then protect it fiercely. It took me years to find this morning routine. I used to do all kinds of stuff, make myself work out and journal for 3 pages and make sure I had a huge breakfast. I realized that ended up stressing me out in the mornings. And from the encouragement of my partner, I decided to slim that all down. And then it's just these 3 things for 35 minutes. And it's my own morning ritual. Maybe for you, it's making a drip coffee or using your French press and not picking up your phone while those things are happening. Maybe it's setting aside 15 minutes before bed just to read a book. You get to make this your own because it's going to be individual in what you need. Another lifestyle tip, learn to say no without feeling guilty. Whether it's skipping a party or muting that group chat, you know which one it is. It's okay to prioritize yourself. For me, saying no is a skill that I'm continually learning how to use and implement. It's a regular practice because every time I say no to what doesn't serve me, I feel a little bit more unhindered. And don't forget to check in with yourself regularly. One season of life is going to look entirely different to another. Maybe pause each week and figure out how you're feeling. What needs tweaking? Where can you adjust? How can you pull back? Maybe there are spaces that you can push a little bit more forward. These don't have to be huge, monumental, life-changing things. They could be small, incremental, little ideas of this week I didn't make the time to have a nightly routine in which I went to bed 15 minutes earlier so I could read that book we had talked about. And maybe instead of doing it every night or having a daily ritual, it could be that on Sunday nights, you give yourself an hour to look at the week ahead, figure out how you want to game plan, who can help you with everything, and what you want it to look like, how you want to feel by the following Sunday. And there's a little something that we often overlook. Your environment plays a huge role in how your life is balanced. If your space is cluttered, your mind probably is too. Spend 10 minutes a day tidying up, or maybe create a little nook in your house that feels like a sanctuary. Maybe it's a cozy chair by the corner, or making sure that your favorite candle is always on a clutter-free desk. Make your space work for you. For example, when I moved in with my partner, I didn't want to completely take over his space with my style. So I created what we call our hobbies corner. In this corner, we hung up our snowboards, and I hung up some ridiculously funny art that's one of his favorites. And then I added a shelved lamp that holds my favorite books, plants, and family mementos, things that bring me a lot of joy. Now, every time I look at that corner, I see 2 lives melding together, and it's so beautiful. Get creative and stick to what brings you actual joy, not what Pinterest says you should be into, not what the latest trends are on social media. Whatever brings you joy, do that. Take your time with it and enjoy the process of making something your own. And it doesn't have to be done all at once. Enjoy the process without the pressure. Finally, let's talk about that little voice inside of you, your intuition. Your intuition is one of your greatest tools for keeping balance. It's that gut feeling that nudges you toward what you need, whether it's a nap, a deep conversation, or some time alone. When you're making a decision, pause and ask yourself, does this feel right to me? Giving yourself those extra few questions to really sense in your body whether to say yes or to say no can make all the difference about whether this choice will balance or continue the chaotic imbalance that you've been experiencing. Remember, inner peace is not about perfection. It's only about progress, about making one single step in a direction that helps you feel more at peace and more at joy in your life. And hey, if you stumble along the way, you're human. That's kind of expected, and it's totally okay. If any of this resonated with yourself, give yourself a huge clap on the back for staying present and being here to learn more. And if there's someone in your life who you think is also feeling some need for inner peace, share what you've learned. Encourage them to make similar steps in the right direction. Who knows? Maybe you can work together to build a life full of beauty, joy, and inner peace, because it's already yours. Until next time, I'm holding you in the light.